Yo, it's good everyone. So I'm filming two videos because I want to. So I want to talk about how starting your own business, starting your own thing is way harder, and hear me out, it's way harder than getting into remote sales or getting into appointment setting. If you're a beginner, and by beginner, I define that as someone who has no business experience or no business background or very little, right? So hear me out, guys. Before I was doing appointment setting, I was trying to grow this coaching business. And this coaching business helped other coaches book more appointments through appointment setting, how to generate their own leads, etc. It's like a typical business coaching offer, right? And I ran that for about a year, and it went not horribly wrong. I learned a lot along the way, but I didn't do too well with it, guys. I didn't, and this is my fault, obviously. This is all my responsibility. But, and I'll tell you why I think it didn't go well in the first year, right? I only signed a couple clients, and when I did sign the clients, they were extremely far apart from each other. And I'm talking months, guys. That's how inconsistent it was. So I'd go months without signing any clients. I'd go months on zero. And bearing in mind, I was still in uni at this time. So I was still in uni. I had exams to study for. I had to study. I was living in accommodations. I had to start paying my own rent and at that time I didn't. Because I was broke. I wasn't making money from this coaching business, so I had to ask my parents to help me out with that. So, and I was struggling for food too. I cooked my own meals, and I went to the gym, and I got a membership and everything. Did what it took to make it work, but again, it wasn't going well. It wasn't going well at that time, right? So this was about one and a half years ago now, almost 2 years. So it's funny how quickly time changes, how time flies. So I ran that for about a year, and then what happened was things got not so great with that. I was pretty down bad in about October, November time. And then at that same time was when I started working with Elijah. So if you don't know Elijah, you should. I'm not even going to explain who that is. But I started working with Elijah, started appointment setting for him instead. So now I didn't have the responsibility, and this is going to lead me on to my first reason as to why I think it's better, if you're a beginner, to just go with appointment setting and remote sales for now, and then go ahead and do your own thing in the future once you stack some cash. So I pretty much just gave you a couple of reasons. So when I started working with Elijah, I didn't have to focus on sales anymore. I didn't have to focus on offer creation anymore. All I had to focus on was booking appointments, filling the freaking calendar. That's all I could do. That's all I had to do, guys. That's all I had to do was fill the calendar, and we're Gucci. Done. You make commission, close a couple clients, cool. One skill, focus, one skill, one thing, one process. So when you're a beginner, you're coming into this shark-infested water. You have to come up with a bunch of things. You have to figure out what am I going to offer? Okay, how am I going to market this thing? Which platform am I going to market in? What's my niche? How much should I charge? How do I learn sales? What's the best sales script? How do I deliver for clients? How do I make sure people don't leave? How do I manage finances? All this stuff. I'm sure a lot of people have made it work. A lot of people have made it work, and they can make it work. Don't get me wrong, but that's why a lot of beginners struggle. And yes, I know you have to have time in the game, but from my personal opinion, and this is coming from experience too, because I literally did it. I wish earlier I would have stuck with appointment setting or sales. If I just picked one skill first, mastered that, stacked some cash with that, and then started my own thing, that would have been the way better route. Because now if we look at it logistically, you get into appointment setting, you land a position. Cool. Again, as I said, all you have to do is focus on filling the calendar with appointments. Right? It's one skill. That's one thing. You don't need to focus on trying to close the client. You don't need to focus on doing mock calls. You don't need to focus on all that stuff. You don't need to focus on how to position the offer, how much to price it, all this stuff. Your niche, you just focus on filling the calendar for them, and then if they close the client, then you get commission. Simple as. Just do that at scale, work harder at that bit, and then you'll make more commission. It's simple. If you put 1 into 1, you get 2, and you get, it's a slot machine, right? Or it's a coin, I forgot what it's called. It's a vending machine. But when you're trying to do your own thing, you've got all these different hats you need to put on. So what you need to do is you need to get into appointment setting. Then once you got into appointment setting, you get some wins under your belt, you get some experience under your belt, so that when you do move up to a closing position, either through that same company or for a different company, you've got something to show for it. You're not just some nobody who tried appointment setting for 4 months and it didn't work out. So get into appointment setting, or if you're lucky, get into sales first. For most people, that's not going to be an option really. So appointment setting, start closing, learn the game from there as well. Learn how to close deals, learn how to set frame, learn how to handle objections, learn how to have more conviction, all this different stuff. Learn tonality, because now this is a whole different ball game. I'm going through it right now. I'm doing mock calls, I'm doing my due diligence. I've had my first couple calls back in a long time. So that's a whole beast in and of itself, but I highly advocate you get into that, because sales, once you crack the code, your life becomes 10 times easier, okay? Because life is sales. You're always selling. With appointment setting, yeah, it's cool, but it's not on the same utility level as sales. So once you learn how to sell, then you're pretty much unstoppable. Once you've gotten into sales and you've also stacked some cash, then you've got some breathing room now. Let's say you were in this for 6 months, this whole process, and you've actually stacked a decent amount of cash. Now, you've got an emergency fund you're sitting on if you're that type of person. But then most importantly, you've now got money to deploy into a wide variety of things. And by wide variety of things, you can invest in mentors. You can actually afford the mentorships now, and you can actually have someone in your corner tell you exactly what to do, who's been where you are, who's been where you want to be, right? That's the most important thing. When I think of investing, that's the first thing I'd go to, is mentors or mentorship or courses. Mentors, you can afford more expensive but healthier food, and that's gonna actually help you create a return on investment, because if you eat healthy, you think better and you make more money and you're more productive. So better food, better clothes, and again, people think this is a waste of money, and if you go overboard, then it could potentially be, but if you wear clothes that make you more confident, then that'll come across in, like, let's say you're taking a sales call or you're filming content like this, you have more confidence, and therefore your conviction increases, and then therefore you're more likely to gain more attention and then make more money. And confidence is what could make or break you closing a deal, for example. So it does have second and third order consequences if you get nicer clothes, okay? So there's your excuse to go splurging this weekend. But better clothes, getting into more networks, just all this stuff is going to lead to an ROI. As long as I said, don't try and justify stupid stuff. This is just the bare basics, right? This actually does lead to an ROI. So now you're stacked cash, you can put some on the side too, you can finally breathe, and now you can really start to think abundantly. And when I say that, that means you're like 6 months ago, when you were still starting on this journey, you were struggling with money, struggling with bills, and then now you were in that scarcity mindset, you're very desperate for money. But now you're not so desperate, because now you know for a fact that I can make this again and again, and I'm sitting on a decent amount of cash now. So I've got options. That's what it is. I've got options. And here's another thing you should do: look to move out of your parents' house, right? You need to get in an environment that is conducive to growth. Now, if your parents' house, if it is, then fair enough, but still try and look to move out. Move to somewhere like Thailand, like I have. Move to Philippines, move to South America, move somewhere. Move to Europe. Move into your own place, or move in with your boys, right? That's an environment that's way more conducive to growth. And then you're gonna 10x your progress doing that, compared to sitting in your house for just for the sake of it, right? When you've got cash to deploy. So that's the game plan, guys. That's pretty much the game plan. I put it on my story already. Yeah, guys, super brief video, super short. Just wanted to share my experience too, doing this, and yeah, I see a bright future ahead. So anyways, hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll see you later.